Then she went on to say, I'm not selling the house. I'm not selling it. Take it off the market. What? Like, what? Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Courtney and I'm a real estate agent in the state of Connecticut. If you're into all things real estate, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that bell notification so you don't miss any new videos from me. I am starting out the first Sunday of the new year, 2022, showing. And it's literally like 2 minutes from my house, not even, maybe a minute. It's right behind my house. I got this lead actually from a listing that I had down the street for me, and they inquired about my listing, but it was already under contract, actually selling the next, literally closing the next day. So I offered to help them look around the area. They're looking for a home near Central Connecticut State University, which is, you know, around where I live. So they wanted something in walking distance for their daughter who's attending college there. So here I am trying to find them a home. And I don't know about you guys, in this market, I feel like people are kind of getting a little greedy. Things are a little bit overpriced. And just starting out at that high price, I don't think is really beneficial for the seller or the agent. It's kind of like wasting time. Like in this scenario where I'm pretty sure this was a college house to begin with. But you know, there are some things that definitely need help, and it being at the top of what it could ever be worth is kind of, just let me know what you guys think if you're seeing this a lot in your market. I'm sure you are, with just like appraisals. There's appraising houses, you know, allowing things to appraise so high or like close so high that it's kind of bumping up the comparables, and people are just seeing like, hey, that house sold for that much down the street and now this one, but in reality it probably should be 20,000 or more under what it's actually listed for. So yeah, I'm going to show you around the house a little bit. This is, you know, I believe 1920s house, so it has a lot of cool features. And what kills me is a lot of houses in this area have really awesome features, but unfortunately aren't all kept up. And especially since a lot of these houses are college rentals, they're kind of, you know, from one group of kids to the next, it's kind of like hard to keep those up. But there are still some cool features of the house, and I'll show you in just one moment. So first, I kind of want to start off with the focal point of the entire house. When you walk in the front door, you have this beautiful fireplace. And I'm just a sucker for like this beautiful woodwork, the details. And then it has this nice little arch above it, so that's a nice detail. I'm glad they didn't paint over this woodwork because it's in great shape. Another cool feature is this little bench right here. So it's kind of like one of those benches. I don't think no, it's built in, so I just love those. So you kind of like make it a little seat or something, or put stuff up there. Another great thing, well, the floors, of course, are, you know, a beautiful feature of the home. They're not in too bad of shape. In this room, it's kind of, there's some stains in that one. Probably need to get refinished, but if they were, they'd be even better. So here's a built-in like little hutch thing, which is really cool. Not sure if this is original, but it is a nice little touch. And I forgot to show you the front windows, which are probably original, but that detailing up top is really nice as well. And this looks like leaded glass. You can see the waves. Can't see it in the video, but it is there. Yeah, and that's pretty much all I see for those kind of features. The doorknobs. I'm just a sucker for like really nice, like old school features like that, which you don't really see, like charming features in homes that are built today. So that is something I like, but as you can see, it does need, you know, some TLC. It is struggling in a few areas, which they're probably trying to fix this, but just for the sake of showing, it's like, I could do that before. But yeah, the walls seem to be textured like stucco type, which is a bit outdated. The colors, I think, kinda don't help it either, but overall, it's a good home for, you know, college students to rent out and what they're looking for, so we'll see how they like it. I'm back from my showing with the family I was just talking about, and it looks like they really like the second one I showed them, which I didn't do any video clips of because I went directly from the other one there with them, and then there was someone waiting, so I didn't really have time to do that. Definitely in a lot better shape than the first one that I showed you guys, so hopefully they'll want to put in an offer, fingers crossed. And now that December is over and my deals for December closed, I want to like do a little story time because it's been literally insane the past couple months, and another contributing factor to why I've been like MIA for a while. I closed 6 deals, and that was the first time I ever had like that many going on at one time. I probably had like 4 or 5, but not 6, which 4 or 5 is still a lot, but in terms of 6, I don't think I've ever had 6 at the same time, and most of them were listings, which arguably people like listings because they think it's easier, or you know, you just don't have to run around as much for buyers and stuff like that. But honestly, they were the most difficult listings I have ever had yet, and they were all at the same time. I had a listing from letters that I put out. So every time I sell a house, I mail out like 100 or so letters to the surrounding neighborhood saying, hey, I just sold your neighbor's home. If I sold it for over asking, I'll put that in there too because it catches their attention. It's not false advertisement, but it's something that, you know, sparks people's interest and may be enough for them to call you. I sent those out and I got a text from this woman, and she said, hey, like, I saw your car in the mail, and I just wanted to call you and have you take a look at my house to see, you know, how much I could get for it. So that was all fine and dandy. I went to the house, looked around. She was doing some projects, so I told her, hey, like, finish up your projects so that there's not, you know, a remodel in the process of everything. And I guess she wanted to fix a couple things up, but she was like in the middle of it all, so I said, hey, how about you know, take the time to fix this stuff, some stuff out of the house, and then we'll be ready to potentially list it. So she was good with that. It was about a month later that she told me that she was, you know, ready to come on the market. She moved a bunch of stuff out into a storage unit, and she finished the bathroom that she was working on. So that was all great. I went, did the photos, everything. Then we put the house on the market. All fine and dandy. The first showing comes. They get to the house. I guess my client was still in the house. Buyer came and the agent never came. So the buyer was like literally need to get into the house while my client was still there, and she was all freaked out. And then I guess she decided that she was gonna let the person in, and she showed the buyer the house, which all parts of it was wrong. And since that situation, she was all uneasy about it, which, you know, of course that had to be the first time that happened. And so since then, every single showing, every single thing that happened, she was there, and she requested that I be there, which, you know, some parts of Connecticut that's required. Like in Litchfield County, you have to be at all of the showings as a listing agent, or I do. Most of my business, we don't have that rule. I mean, obviously if the seller wants you to, then you try to make them happy, but in reality, I don't usually like to do that because I know that if I have a listing agent there when I'm showing a property to my buyers, it feels awkward, and my buyers feel awkward, I feel awkward, and it just leaves a bad taste in people's mouth. So I know people feel nervous about random people walking through their house, I think that overall it's a better idea just to let the buyer's agents come with their buyers and let them have their moment to really talk about the property and not feel like people are listening on it or they have to say, you know, nicer things because there's someone listening. So it made her happy, so I just did it. I didn't want her to feel uncomfortable, but this was like 35 minutes from my house. So every time, it was just a lot. Yeah, I had a coworker that lives down the street, so she was able to help me out a little bit. So I was thankful for that. But anyway, that's just the background story. So we get an offer on the property. It started lower than asking. She wouldn't take it. It's still under asking. She wouldn't take it. And then finally they offered asking price. She was like, well, I need to get my house appraised. What? Like, this kind of stuff is supposed to happen before you even put it on the market. And I do my research, and I'm not an appraiser, but I do my comparative market analysis, as do other agents, where they look at sold properties in the area and then, you know, compare it to the subject property, which I did all my research. I always, you know, run it by my broker to make sure, like, I didn't make any huge mistakes, that he's on the same page, that he thinks that my pricing is good. And I even talked about the pricing with her at the first appointment, and she was fine with the pricing that I came up with. For her to get an offer and to say, hey, like, I don't know how much my house is worth, I don't want to accept it, little too late. So she refused to accept it or deny it. So it sat there for a week, and it was the only offer we had. And as you can imagine, the buyers were very uneasy, very, very uneasy, because they're just sitting, waiting. They don't know if they're going to be wasting their time sitting and waiting for this house, but they love the house a lot. So pretty adamant about, you know, staying on it because they love the house. They weren't finding anything like it, so they were willing to wait a little bit, but they were getting antsy, as they had every right to be. I don't know what happened, but finally she came out and said, I'll accept it. So yay, hurrah, she accepts it. So they go, for some reason the appraisal was before the inspection. Not really sure why that was set up that way, because usually we'll have the inspection, make sure everything's good and settled, and then we'll have the appraisal, because you don't want to waste money on an appraisal if you're not even going to go past the inspection. But hey, I was representing the seller, so I was like, if that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do. So they did the inspection. The house is in good shape. There were a few little things that just weren't done correctly that were easy fixes. So one of them was the furnace was not, hasn't been serviced, or what was it? She doesn't know how old the furnace was. It was there when she bought it, and they just wanted to know, like, hey, we just need something, like, can we see that it's been serviced in the last year, or can you have it serviced? We just want to know that we're buying a house with a furnace that actually properly works. So that's fair. That's a very common thing that you ask on a lot of home inspections. If they have a furnace, if they show receipt of it, that's great. But if not, can we have it serviced? Because that could be a large expense. A couple tiny things. I came to my client and I told her what they said, and she flipped out, for lack of a better word. She, you know, said some very provocative things, very inappropriate things to me, and basically said, you know, they can F off, they don't want the house, and fine, like, I'm not doing any fixes, nothing. So that, like, obviously threw me for a loop, because I never had someone respond so strongly to me giving them the request for the repairs to their house. She was adamant that nothing was wrong, she wasn't going to do a thing, and they were going to take it as is, which we never discussed. We never discussed that we're going to take the property as is, we're going to list it as is. That was not discussed. She says absolutely not. So I go and I tell the buyer's agent, and obviously they were upset about it. He was like, well, obviously my buyer's gonna be upset about this. She really likes the house, but she wants to make sure she's doing, you know, the best thing for her, and that she's not gonna get into something that, you know, is gonna come out of nowhere. So I understood that. But you know, I did go back to my seller and try to kind of discuss this stuff, and that, you know, they're really interested in the house, and to do these small things might be enough to, you know, let them be okay. Like, just get the furnace service, that might be enough to like just have them say, okay, fine, we'll do the rest of the stuff ourselves. Just try to compromise a little bit, meet in the middle a little bit, and that's the only offer she had. So it's not like a ton of other people waiting outside in front of the door waiting to knock it down and put in offers. That wasn't the case. So basically, I'm trying to get her the best price, and I'm trying to, you know, just have the best, easiest deal overall for her. But I thought that was the best decision, was to not make waves. These are motivated, a very qualified buyer, and you don't have any offers on the table, and it's been, you know, over a week and a half. Like, this is going to be your best option. She then proceeded to say that I was harassing her, that it's her house, that I can't tell her what to do, blah, blah, blah. None of it was very like professional, or it was just all like very, like, just lashing out on me, and her whole demeanor changed, like everything. It was just like I was the enemy or something. So at that point, I was like, obviously they're not doing anything. But then she went on to say, I'm not selling the house. I'm not selling it. Take it off the market. What? Like, what? So, okay. If this was a situation between me and her where she decided she didn't want to sell anymore, you know, I could say, hey, like, we wrote a contract, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, if you're really feeling like you don't want to sell it anymore, I'm not going to force you to sell your house. So whatever. But now that there's a buyer involved that went through inspection and appraisal, they fulfilled all of their requirements. Like, you can't just back out. So that's when I got the lawyers involved. So that was a whole situation where my seller didn't want to sell. She was accusing me of harassing her. It was a rocky road. The buyers were like, what's going on? Are we going to get the house? Back and forth. Just super chaotic. So I was leaving it to the attorneys at that point, because there's nothing I could do to change her mind. There was nothing that I could do to help the buyer. Like, there was just nothing I could do. So I basically just stepped away from the situation, and I sat around for like almost a month, not knowing if this house is even going to close or not. Not knowing not knowing anything, okay? So I left it to the attorneys. Long story short, it closed last week. So I'm really thankful for that. But it was just a really, like, it just made my stomach turn for like weeks and weeks and weeks. Because obviously you don't like to be talked to like that. And that was the first situation I had that was like someone downright disrespecting me, making me very uncomfortable and uneasy. And there's a lot of times I was like, just screw this, like, I don't want to even do it. But sometimes you just have to give it to the hands of the attorneys and just hope for the best, because there was really nothing I could do. But that was that story. Hold on.
Okay.
Holy Spirit, activate. Oh, no. Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Activate. All right, let's go.
Hey guys, so it's Monday. I'm holding my dog because she won't stop barking and interfering with my video. But it's Monday morning. It's around 10 o'clock. And I started my day by preparing a meal in the crock pot. I never cook in the crock pot, but every time I do, I'm like, this is so easy, and you just throw everything in there, you let it sit all day, and then you have a meal at the end of the day. And plus it makes your house smell really good. So I'm doing that. It's like this white chicken chili or something like that. I was just in the mood for something like that, so I'm having that prepare itself basically, so that's pretty cool. And then I went on the Peloton for about 30 minutes or so. I just have a hard time with like when to work out, because in the morning I will go and do it, like just to get it over with. But then I feel like so tired still, like so, I don't know, like I have no energy because I just woke up. I'm still kind of groggy. And then also like I need to eat a lot in the morning. So it's like I don't want to eat a lot before I work out. But then like when I don't, I feel lightheaded and all that. So let me know what you guys suggest if you guys are really into working out for like what time of day. Because if I wait till like later in the day, I just won't do it. And I know that, like that's how I work. Like I just won't do it. I just find 100 other things I have to do, and then I get caught up in that stuff and I just don't do it. So I got that stuff out of the way, got ready, and now I have you propped up in my water bottle right now. So I am drinking. I drank 1 water bottle so far, so I'm gonna keep doing that for the rest of the day. I have to keep this little munchkin under control. She just needs energy, attention all the time, so it makes it hard to work from home, but I'm gonna try to make it happen. I'm gonna post some reels right now that I pre-recorded. That's what I was doing last night, and I tried to get a few clips. I haven't posted them yet, but I'll have them in before this if I'm even in the frame for any of them. So I'll be doing that, making some phone calls today. I have some personal phone calls to do, and also obviously like calling leads and stuff like that. I actually got a text message this morning from one of my friends from school, and he said that one of his friends is thinking of selling his house, so he gave him my number and everything, so that's pretty cool. I'm excited about that. And yeah, so I'm just gonna do some phone calls, post some reels that I pre-recorded, and then I want to just get some stuff done. Whatever's on my list, I will try to get it done. All right, guys, I'm gonna do a quick tour of this flip in Wethersfield. So you walk in, you have this living room, like sitting area. It's a nice fireplace. Then we have this extra room off to the side here. Not really sure what it is. I guess like an office. I like the little elements they did here. This is the kitchen. So it's an eating kitchen. Updated kitchen here with all new stainless steel appliances. Island in the middle. Farm style sink. Then we have a first floor half bath. Serves a purpose, does the job. Then we go upstairs. I will say I love the color of the floors. They're in really good shape. So I think the rooms up here are a bit small. This is like the quote-unquote master. Only thing I have with it is it's an awkward shape. And I feel like it'd be weird to put a bed in. I don't know, maybe here. And it does have a full bath. It's just like a glass panel here. And it does have semi walk-in closet. Another little thing I have is this ductwork here. I mean, I know there has to be ductwork for central air, but it does kind of cut into the closet space. So we have another full bath in the hallway here. Kind of matches the one downstairs. It all kind of is cohesive, so that's nice. have our 2 extra bedrooms here. I will have to say they are small bedrooms, but they do have nice closet space in this room. So there's 2 closets just like this. Little hall linen closet, and this is the smallest bedroom. Like, I don't think you can actually see how small this is, but it is pretty dang small. So that's the house, really. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. This is listed for $399. Do you think it's worth it? Do you think it's overpriced? If you know the Connecticut market, let me know.